Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my easy mode playthrough of Might and Magic 6 The Mandate of Heaven. We're gonna continue where we left off in New Sorpigal on January the 1st. Now I promise I'm gonna at least move my characters about this episode, but first I want to show you the screen that I forgot to mention last time, which is the quick reference. As the name suggests, it's just a quick look at your party. So all the stats that are very relevant are here. The two stats that are not shown elsewhere is the reputation and fame. Now reputation is important for one thing, getting mastery in light and dark magic. Fame, I don't really know what fame is used for. It's written in the manual, but I don't think it actually works. Now maybe somebody knows better than me. Now you gain reputation obviously by solving quests, and you lose reputation by dealing with shady characters, and especially at the beginning we will be solving 2 quests for the bad guys. Right? So let's equip our party based on the skills that we gave them. So our knight has a leather armor. You can see here that the armor is +4, but when we actually look at the armor class that we have, it's only 3. That is because our speed is only 10, so it gives us a -2 debuff. So we have 4 from the armor, +1 from the skill, but -2 from speed. Yes, so our total armor class is 3. He has a bow, so bow skill, so he starts with a crossbow. As you can see, the damage follows basic Dungeons and Dragons rules, so the max damage is 4 times 2-sided dice roll, so maximum damage is 8, minimum damage is 4. And the sword in his left hand. Now, sometimes you get a ring with a buff on it. Now we got a ring of speed. Who has the low? It doesn't really matter because we'll be enhancing our speed, but I guess Colin can have it. It doesn't really matter. It's not much. Let's see. Yeah, armor class is now 4 because we crossed the threshold to 11. Yeah, so this is a nice demonstration that speed is actually affecting your armor class in a very direct way. Perfect. That's kind of what I wanted to show. So our Enya, the paladin, she has a wooden shield. And she starts with a long sword because she has a sword skill, but we're not going to be using it. Instead, we're going to use a spear. So you can see the damage is 1 to 9. So it's the same. It's a bit wider range than the sword because minimum damage of the sword is 3, while minimum damage of spear is 1. But if we use the spear two-handed, we have +1 to D9 bonus. So this just to show you how it works. See, so our damage is 4 to 9, our attack is quite low, 4 to 9, but if I take off the shield, now I have additional 9 damage. Yep. At the cost of armor class, and since we don't have any armor, like, it's good to have something. Yes, so everybody starts with a club. And she also has Bless, Book of Learning. So we're gonna learn the spell and actually show you the spell book. So Paladin starts with Spirit Magic first. You always get the first item on the list, which is in this case is Spirit Arrow. This is useless spell. Casting cost at 0, mastery. By the time you have Master Spirit, this doesn't really matter, and it has high. The accuracy is low, but we got Bless, which increases attack. Okay, let's continue. Our cleric, she starts with a mace. Mace is not very good item. I'm just gonna shuffle things around. We also have a shield and fine ring. Now let's see if this ring have anything. Nope. I'm just gonna move this to Enya temporarily. And her spell is First Aid. This is very important spell for beginning. I don't think I have to tell you why, because we'll be taking a lot of damage And finally our sorceress. Blessed ring, quite high value for a beginner, but it's not enchanted. You can enchant some items yourself, but they have to be of a certain value before you can do that, and you have to have the skill. The dagger, as you can see, is only 2d2. It's quite a useless weapon, but it's better than nothing. And since we took the first three, fire magic, air magic, and water magic, we have additional spells that we can learn. Flame arrow, static charge, and cold beam. So pretty beginning of damaging shots. So torchlight is the fire magic spell, pretty obvious. Flame arrow, 1 to 8 points of damage, which is not bad but very inaccurate. Now wizard eye, this is where the dreams come from. Shows terrain and monsters. Monsters is a very important thing. You can see where they are in relation to you. We'll see on the menu up there some small red dots. NPCs are green dots, yellow dots will appear as dead enemies, and once we go to expert we also have blue dots for treasure. Static charge always hits, okay damage for a beginner. Water magic, awaken, I don't think we'll be using this spell very much, because we won't be sleeping outside, but if you sleep outside then there's a chance that you'll be awoken by the monsters that roam the area. So this can be useful to wake the other members of your party. The cold beam, it's just like static charge, I guess. The choice of magic is depending on the monster, but in the first map there are no resistances, so like choose whatever you want to do. Yeah, everybody's equipped. So the final thing we have to do is move. I think these should go actually to, no. These go to our good cleric. She's gonna be our potion master for this.
I believe it worked.
Playthrough.
Success.
And I just created 2 potions, 1 cure wounds and 1 magic potion. 1 restores 10 hit points, the other 10 spell points. This is just to save space because we're gonna need a bit of space in a moment. And final thing before I move is to actually read the letter that we captured. As you remember from the intro, we came across a goblin camp with that Solomon in it, and it had 5 letters from King to his wife and a letter from King of the Devils to Solomon. So let's read the letter. My dear Solomon, you have done well, and I hereby promote you to High Priest of the Second Circle. Second Circle, wow, sounds important. There is a sum of gold waiting for you in the hands of Andover Potbellow in New Sorpigal that he will turn over to you if you tell him that Sandman sent you and show him the seal of this letter. Sandman, I like that. The handling of the Roland affair was masterful, and I especially like the snowstorm touch. It really put the fear in him, didn't it? Superstitious fool. His rule has moved our timetable ahead by at least 2 years, and has spared us the trouble of assassinating him at a more delicate time. All arrangements are in place. My minions have engineered the recall of Queen Catherine to her homeland in Nerafia to attend the funeral of her father. She will not return this year, and that only leaves her worthless brat Nikolai and that idiot Regent Wilbur Humphrey running things at the palace. The people have begun to sense that something is wrong, that perhaps the gods are angry, that perhaps the Iron Fists have lost the mandate of heaven. Just a few more disasters and there may well be a full-scale rebellion, and we will be waiting at the breach, ready to step in and tell the sheep what to do and when to do it. Already our temples spread across the land, offering aid to those displaced by disasters and comfort to the bereaved. Yes, remain in New Sorpigal and stay out of sight. When the time is right, you will be contacted and given further instructions. So take heart and know that our plan proceeds smoothly and we will be ruling this world soon. Your position in our hierarchy will be very high. Signed, Xenophax. So this letter confirms what I already said in the previous episode about how the Roland affair, as it is called here, went. It was basically a deal made by Salmov, the King of the Devils, to rule to lure the king out, to lure the queen out, and leave the country basically undefended against an invasion. And this letter is basically shows our goal in game is to restore the mandate of heaven, which is the faith of the people in their king and their country. All right, so we know what we first must do. We are to contact Andover Podbello in New Sorpigo. So a person with that name is actually waiting for us at the inn. So in the inn you can rent room, which is sometimes useful if you're in a hostile place and you don't want to sleep outside. Fill food, like refill the food, have a drink. It makes you drunk, which gives a debuff to some of the skills, but buff to, I believe, might and endurance, I think, with negative bonus of accuracy. I never done it. I found it useless. But some monsters can make you drunk, and you can tip the barkeep. Never done it. So there's a Maria, the gypsy, sitting in the lonely night, and she can tell us about the brigands. With the death of Roland and rumors of a collapse of the Iron Fist rule, the roads are almost unsafe to travel anymore. Brigands and bandits of all sorts now prey on anyone traveling too far from the protection of the castles, which is true. Smugglers Guild. Plagueshire and Freehaven are homes to the Smugglers Guild, where you can learn Dagger, Merchant, Identify, Perception, and Disarm Traps. She basically tells us where we can learn those skills. Merchant, Identify, Perception, Disarm Trap. We already have Disarm Trap. We will be learning Merchant everybody. Perception and Identify will go to our Coquelin. She tells us about the place called Howling Moon. I don't think that's important. What's important is Andover Podbello, the follower of Ba. So what we have to do is to show him the seal on the letter, which we just did. Oh, the seal. Here, I'm supposed to give you this money. Now go away before we've seen together. Someone will get suspicious. And we got 1,000 gold, which is quite a good loot for starters to get you going. And he also gives us the quest. Could you do the Temple of Ba a favor? It appears that my brethren left the old temple to the northwest of here in a little too much of a hurry, and the candelabra necessary for some of our rituals was left behind. None of the Ba priests want to go back because they're afraid of whatever curse has been placed on the temple. If you were to bring back the candelabra to me, however, I could reward you in their place. So our first side quest is to... let me just... can't find the quests. Quick reference. Quest. Current quest. It's here. Sorry. My keyboard. I remapped some of the key bindings, so I can't find the quest. So here are current quests. Now that we showed the letter to Andover Podbello, we have to bring Salmon's letter to Regent Wilbur Humphrey. And we have our first side quest to retrieve the candelabra, but we won't be doing that just yet. So this is where the let's say the normal playthrough and the gimmick playthrough diverge. So as I said, next season I'll be continuing from here as they would normally, but what I usually do at this moment is to cheat a little. It's not really cheating, it's more of a, as I said, a gimmick, but it's an Easter egg. So if you look over there, there is a door to a house on the second floor of that building. That building is actually, I think, it's a bank. Yes, it's a bank. So you can't get there normally, but that house holds a person that can teach you an expert in air. Now this town contains all the experts of the initial of all magic experts, and if you're playing it casually and you don't notice that, then you're left wondering where's the expert in air. That's where he is, but you can't get there unless you have a fly spell, and fly is a pretty high level spell which you can't normally get here, normally unless you know the trick. So before I show you the trick, I'll collect some horseshoes. Some poor horses will not have their shoes on. The trick really is beyond simple. You just look at the side wall and you collect something. So right now I'm holding a scroll. This is a scroll fly. This is really the first clue that this spell should be used around this building. I'm gonna move everything to Enya's room. But we won't be using it at its intended place. Rather, if you know the trick, it makes the rest of the playthrough very easy. Before we continue, I'm gonna have to drink from the Well of Luck. This is the well I spoken about last time. So now I've drunk 8 times in total. So our luck increased for all the players, and if I try to drink again, it's just as refreshing, yeah? Right, so we are done with New Sorpigal for now. Now, here is the gimmick. You see this door? This door says Buccaneer's Lair.
Closed.
Well, it's closed. But this is not the door we're looking for. Oh, this is not even the spell we're looking for. We're looking to cast Fly. Yes? Now that we cast Fly, you can see that the duration of the spell is 5 hours, which is quite long. I think it's Expert. Expert is hour per skill point, so it's like level 5 Expert. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. We'll read through the descriptions at some point. So here is where I will save, because from now on I'll be on a bit of a timer, because this spell, the duration of the spell puts us on a timer. We have to do everything we need to do within those 5 hours. So, as I said, we won't be taking this door, we'll be taking this door. Yeah, you see the door there? Do you see it? Of course you don't, but if I fly there, you'll see what happens. Hello. So, that place is actually a teleporter, which teleports us to Dragon Sand, which is pretty far away from where we left off. So this is the gimmick. You take the teleporter to this place, and this actually is called the Shrine of the Gods. So this shrine gives plus 20 to every stat and resistance. So if you look at our, let's say, quick stats, and even the normal stats for each and every person, you can like I'm showing you just for reference, so that you see what happens after I touch the Shrine of the Gods. Yeah. So immediately you can see that we got more hit points, spell points, because all of these values have increased. Yes. We also have more attack because our accuracy has increased, more damage because our might has increased, and we are now more resistant. Unfortunately, I have to do it for everybody, so let's hope that none of the dragons will hit me. Okay, there is our paladin. Now, cleric and Coquelin last. So now our party is pretty beefed up. We have bonus to attacks. We will be doing much more damage, even with the bow. Yes. So just look at Coquelin, just for reference. Now, this is really where, in all my playthroughs where I use this method, this is where I did something I will not do this time. So, I did not know at the time, but you can actually teleport from this place back home, back to New Sorpigal, back where you started. I did not know that until actually a week ago. I simply didn't bother to find out. But there is a teleporter, and I think it's on that wall outside, so you have to run out, and if you touch that wall from the other side, or I don't remember now, some wall on the outside, you'll be teleported back to New Sorpigal. But there's one more trick, let's say, about this place. So, to continue my story, what I used to do was I just ran out and got killed by dragons. Now, if you die in this game, you lose all your gold, and if you have any on you, you can actually leave gold in the bank as a safe deposit. But so that's what I was simply doing. I was depositing 1,200 gold coins in the bank and then teleporting here. But if you die, you are teleported back to New Sorpigal, and since dragons are pretty powerful creatures, sometimes they break some of your equipment, so you'll have to spend a bit of money repairing it. But now that I found that there's a teleport over there, now there is a way out. But that's not the way I'll be going. So there is one more gimmick here. Some people say that this place looks like... Well, it actually does. It's just turned around. So if you look, this looks like New World Computing logo. There's the globe and there's the sword piercing the globe. Yes? Alright. So this is a hint. And the hint is that one of the walls actually teleports you. Welcome.
Where are we?
Oh, where are we? That's a good question. We are in a secret level, which is supposed to mimic New World Computing, let's say, headquarters at the time. So this place contains a lot of useful things at the start. Most importantly, you can get about 13 to 14,000 gold and some pretty fancy equipment. There are 2 enemies, one shaman, which is actually it's a goblin shaman, and his name is the same as the founder of EA, and at the same time he was also the CEO of Fridio, the parent company. And there is another goblin king, which has the name of John von Canahan. So this was like a silly way to put those characters back in, but every civilian in this place has a name, and I guess it was the name of the person actually working here. So, as I said, I'm on a timer. Already 1 minute has passed, and I want to be able to use this spell as long as possible. So, I'll try. I'm not really used to doing and talking, so I'll try to do things quickly and explain things during or after. Quick save first. Let's go. All right. So, in this place, what we have, 4 cloaks. Yes, this is like a, cloakroom. In this place, there are some spell books. And we have a cloak, a leather cloak. Okay, not very useful. I think this place contains... Yep, I don't want to be here. Yet. Alright, I'll just be looking around. Let's go this way first, just checking every room. Now I know where the shaman is, so I won't be going there. I don't want to fight anybody because I'm on a timer, but you can just kill them and get a little bit of XP. There's another leather armor lying around. Those people are doing nothing. Really nothing. Now we have here boots. We'll sort this out later. As I said, I don't want to waste time. Gold. Alright. I like gold. Gold is useful in this game. Sorry, Scott McDaniel, just walking through. Not looting at all. Dun-dun-dun. Nope, nothing. Jesus, where do people hide your gold? Okay, nothing here as well. Hello, Miss Helena Wickberg. Oh, I'm sorry. I got your gold. I found an axe. Alright. So we've been through this area. Alright. Okay. Ah! That's not where I wanted to go, but I guess we have to live with it now. Behind this door, there is another goblin. This time I remember not to go through. Okay, so here is the gold. You see, we have much more gold now, and over here you can find some goodies if you press on these buttons. Chainmail, very nice. And steel boots, very nice. Now, to achieve my goal, I would very much like to haul around the 14,000 gold away from this place. I'm not sure that's gonna be possible now. Alright. But we can always sell something in case we need it. Right, so this place. If you press this button, it says potions for sale, so you lose gold. This is not what we want to do. What we want to do is to go to pantry. So pantry either gives you poison, an empty bottle, or food. So we got a bit of food, and in the counter you can get more bottles. Let's collect a few of them. Let's check this area. There we go. More gauntlets, items, amulet. Let's get out of here. Visit Mr.
I need healing.
Oh, you need healing, okay. So let me ready the spell.
Okay.
And in my keyboard, E is the quick heal. We'll just go to Mr. Cunningham's office quickly and investigate, because sometimes he has some useful thing. Not this time though, so let's be on our merry way. We have to visit one more place. So how are we on time? 3 hours. Not great. So another place we have to visit are the stalls, which is where the programmers work. So this is the place where you can get many ingredients, as many as you want actually. Well, maybe not as many. Okay, that was more gold. 319. Sorry, miss. All right. This place, I don't think there's much valuable things in this place. We may find a bit of gold lying around. Okay, more gold. 311. Right, I'm not seeing the 14,000 quota coming anytime soon. Longsword, very nice. Not that we're gonna be using it, most likely. We're just rummaging along the stalls where all the programmers sat when they were making this game. There's nothing there, nothing there. You can imagine that with mouse look it's much easier to check for things. You can do it FPS style. It would be very difficult to do when all you had was, keyboard. So, how are we on time? Let's see. 2 hours 35 minutes. Not the greatest, and our haul is not great as well. We'll have to limit ourselves in what we can do. So, let's see what we hold so far. So there's a longsword.
I don't know.
Armored boots. So I'm gonna give the boots to somebody with the lowest class, which is obviously our sorcerer. Now everybody gets a cloak. Phantom cloak lives +3 armor.
I don't know.
This
I don't know.
is identified. Inferno. Oh god, this is a very powerful spell. Phantom cloak for everybody. Gauntlets.
I don't know.
Not identified.
I don't know.
Cloth hat. Let's give you. You're gonna be a Robin Hood for a while.
I don't know.
Unidentified amulet.
I don't know.
So nobody has chainmail as a skill yet, so just gonna leave it here for now. Everybody cloak up for just a bit more armor class.
I don't know.
Who's the lowest armor class now? Cleric. Okay. You get those boots. We'll identify them later.
I don't know. I don't know.
You'll get the gauntlets for now. Inferno. Now.
Okay.
Now this is a pretty powerful spell. I'll show you in a second. So, Inferno. You can see it's pretty high up. So 12 points of damage plus 1 per point of skill in fire. It's pretty neat for a beginning. Right, so we're done with this place so far. Say goodbye. I don't think we'll ever visit again. Let me say, quick save again, and let's go. Ah! See,
Though eternity lies
this was not
before
my
thee,
intention,
thy
but
work in the land of the living is not done. Return, brave ones. I am certain we will meet again.
Okay.
right, this was not my intention. You can see our goal that we were so laboriously stole from New World Computing has gone to 0, and the time has advanced by 7 days. But this is not the thing that I wanted. So this happened because dragons are very fast. So even though the game is paused, they have like their counter comes first. So what I have to do is do something. I have to go up very quickly. Okay. Success this time. And as I said, I used to go out with the bang, or dead, with my legs forward all the time when I use this gimmick, but this is not how it's gonna end up today. There's this little town in Dragon Sand, and this town contains several houses. One of the houses contains
How
a
are
very
you
useful
today?
person who's called Windmaster. Not Windmaster. I don't want... This is the wrong house. That's the wrong house. This is the correct house.
Hello.
Nami Wind. She's not the Windmaster. She's a Gate Master. So she has a spell called Town Portal. And she can cast Town Portal, as the description says. Cast Town Portal spell at Master ranking once per day. She takes 20% of all gold. That's a lot. But Town Portal at Master level is an extremely useful spell. So we'll hire her. She already took 2,000 of our gold. And we'll visit this house
Hello.
as well, because it contains Snow White, the instructor. Instructor gives 15% bonus on all experience learned and takes 7% of all gold we find. Now, the experience bonus is not does not count the reward from solving quests. It's just for killing monsters. And hiring this person means that now for every 100 gold we find, these two people take 27. As well, this doesn't include gold we get from quests. So now we have 8,700 gold. Let me check. Okay. So we're not gonna get everything I wanted, but we should be okay. Oh well. So since we have our Naomi Wind the Gate Master, we can teleport out of here. Cast Town Portal. So if you have Town Portal, which is a water magic spell at mastery, you can basically choose a city to go back to. We started in New Sorpigal, but we're not going there. We're going to Freehaven. Yay! Welcome to Freehaven. We're, let's say, in the northeastern quadrant. This is the, let's say, the biggest city around. But we'll not be doing any tourist attractions this time because we are still on the clock. Our clock is 2 hours 20 minutes. So normally, as I said, I would just go back and continue with, let's say, with plus 20 to all stats. But this is the new route that I charted to make the run even easier. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna solve the first promotion quests for Paladin. So paladins can be promoted to cavaliers. Yes. And in Freehaven there is a castle called Castle Temper that contains a very helpful chap called Osric Temper, and he is responsible for promoting paladins. So I'm just gonna quick save just in case, and let's go. We'll return to Freehaven very often, but right now let's just visit Castle Temper. Hello, Castle Temper. As you see, flying is a very useful spell.
Halt! Who goes there?
Duke Osric Temper. Lord of the West and foremost knight of the realm.
We're not supposed to be here this time, so I'm not gonna click council quest yet, because that's like in the future. See this helpful chap. But what we're gonna get is the Cavalier promotion quest. I am the arms master in charge of the promotion of all knights in Enroth. Worthy knights can be promoted to cavaliers. Cavaliers embody the spirit of action and the power of purpose. Behind their courageous example, armies charge into battle and enemies flee in terror. However, to become a cavalier, you need to be nominated by the person of authority. If you could get the nomination of a cavalier, that would be good enough for me. So, it seems that I actually lied. Our knight is going to be promoted to cavalier. Yes, it says here to cavalier and then champion, and paladin is crusader and then hero. So a bit of a mishap on my part, but we're still gonna promote him. So this quest involves finding somebody to nominate us for cavalier, and we have to find this chap called Chadwick. Normally you would have to run about to find him, but let's say that I know where he is. He's actually drinking his way to old age, or past the old age actually. So there's a fireball flying past us. This fireball is gonna come up later. It's being shot by this tower occasionally, and it shoots at all flying creatures, and since we're flying, it's shooting at us currently. So in our quest to find Chadwick, we're gonna fly west of Freehaven to this place. Yep. Rockham's Pride. Oh, guess what? There's Chadwick. He can tell us a bit about archers, but we're only here for nomination. Well there, you're looking for nomination to become cavaliers. I was once a valiant knight in my day. Well, you're old now. I fought with Roland in the Succession Wars, though now I'm too old to do much good on the battlefield. It's good to see Osric keeping the traditions of the knights alive. Tell him that I proudly nominate you to become cavaliers, and if he gives you any trouble, tell him to come see me himself. So this is a bit of strange, because he doesn't know us. Our reputation is average, our fame is 1. So how does he know that we are decent people? But ours is not to ask why, ours is to get nomination and GTFO. So now, let me just check. Timer, 1 hour 47 minutes. Okay, should be fine. Oh, there's our fireball. This fireball at our time of life is gonna do some real damage. So, oh, there it goes again. Oh, missed me by a hair. Just gonna save, just in case. The Greyface patch allows quick saves in game, something that was not possible with the original.
Halt! Who goes there?
Duke Osric Temper, Lord of the West and foremost knight of the realm.
Congratulations! The nomination may not seem important. Well, it's not, really. But we have a tradition that must be followed for this promotion. As a cavalier, you need to understand that the traditions and values of the people need to be defended. I gladly promote you to the rank of cavalier. And we'll get the champion quest. Ah, worthy cavaliers. The final step in your training is to become a champion. A cavalier is a brave and noble warrior, but a champion is a power to behold. No force can stand between the champion and victory. Entire campaigns are decided on the bravery, decisiveness, and powerful example of the champion. The task to complete this promotion, however, is difficult. You must defeat a powerful enemy to prove your ability and determination. The only enemy worthy of this task is a man known only as the Warlord, a dangerous and powerful warrior. He commands a legion of evil knights, normally based to the northeast of Icewind Pass. Defeat him, bring back proof of your victory, and your promotion to champion is assured. Thank you, Duke Osric. We'll be on our way. So now, our Cocolin is a cavalier. So you can see that his hit points immediately increased because of this promotion. And now he is really our let's say, tank for the beginning of the game. You can compare the hit points between him and Paladin, who are the same level and have the same endurance. Yeah, well, okay, he has more endurance, but this just gives +1 of the stat mod. But you can see that the impact is huge. Yes, and one more thing it gave us 15,000 experience. So this experience we're eligible to train to level 6, and this is really the additional gimmick that this route allows me to do. Normally I would go back to Sorpigal, I would have +20 total stats, but would still be level 1. Now I can be level 6, and to train everybody to level 6, if my calculations are correct, I'm gonna need 3,750 gold. So we should be okay. We should be just shy of 5,000 once we do this. It will take 750 for each of the unpromoted people, but it will take twice as much money for Coquelin, because the higher promotions like double and triple the amount of money you need per level. I have all this charted in my spreadsheet, and someday I'll show it. But it's a very simple formula. Okay, so there are three more things that we need to do here. If we had more money, I would go and learn and teach every member learning, which gives bonus to experience, but that requires 6,000 gold, and we will not have enough to do the training. So we're skipping that part, but what we need to do in Free Heaven still is to gather horseshoes. I'll tell you about horseshoes later. We'll be building a horse, as the name suggests. Then we need to buy a certain spell, and we need to teach everybody a certain skill. So I'm gonna visit a place which sells membership to a guild that will allow my people to learn this skill, and visit another house which will buy me membership to the Guild of Water, where I can buy a certain spell. We're about, let's say, 10 minutes from the end of this episode. It's been going for very long, so believe me, I want to finish this as quickly as possible, but we still have 1 hour 31 minutes in at the bank. This should be enough. Let's go. Wrong way. This way. Whee! That was the fireball. Okay, let's land, not to invite any more devious magic. And we're looking for this house.
How are you today?
Dominic Juarez, the apprentice, sells the membership to the Guild of Water.
Thank you. You're too kind.
You're too kind. Very nice Irish accent, which is what I wanted. And another place we have to visit is here.
How are you today?
Duelist's Edge membership by Winston Historian the Squire. Okay, that's an interesting name. Duelist's Edge is a mercenary guild that offers valuable teachings. Yes?
Thank you. You're too kind.
I like this voice pack. I'm gonna use it more often. As I said, I never used it before. So the Duelist Edge is here.
What do you need? I'll teach you.
Bow.
That will be useful.
Bow.
That will be useful.
Bow.
That will be useful.
And you already have bow. So, let me think. Can we teach our cleric chain? 625 we'll need 3,000. We should be okay. And I think it is useful to teach her chain right now, because she can use that armor that we found.
That will be useful.
Alright, so let's risk it for the biscuit. Where is the armor? Here it is. You can see chainmail. And description, skill added to armor class, just like with leather armor. And with the chain mastery, the additional recovery penalty can be reduced to 0. So now there's one more thing we have to do. We have to visit Guild of Magic. And that magic is water magic, actually. So let's scuttle around. So this is the only place where I will purposefully reload the game if I don't find the spell. You can see we can learn. We could learn learning at a skill cost of 1500, but since I want to skip a few levels, I'm not going to do that. We can buy town portal, but I don't see the skill, the book. So once you enter the shop, its contents are locked for some time. I think it's at least a few days. I don't remember exactly how long. So you have to come back after time to get a reset. But since this is the first time we entered, we can reload the game. Ah, crap! I forgot. I didn't save outside, which allows me a bit of time to talk a bit more. So if you reload the game before you enter, the contents are randomized before your first entry. That was a fireball.
Water, magic of change.
And the spell we're looking for is not here. Okay.
Water, magic of change.
There it is. Water walk.
Okay.
So water walk allows you to, as the name suggests, walk on water. Duration is 5 minutes per point of skill. Very useful. Extremely useful for what we're about to do. Otherwise it wouldn't be as useful. Like I wouldn't bother. But since I said 2 episodes ago that I want to visit the Shrine of Might in the first month, which is normally quite difficult to do, with this spell I can do it. So let's visit now the training hall. And as I said, it should cost about 37.50. Yep. If the formula that I came up with is correct, it should cost for 37.50. All right. Good.
How about some training?
Ah, I see. Okay.
Okay. No way. Okay. No
So the formula
way.
I calculated is wrong,
Okay. No way.
but that's because I used a
Okay.
different training ground as my, let's say, as the basis. So it turns out that different training halls will be progressively more expensive. So if we, for example, I guess if we trained in New Sorpigal, we would have not spent so much money. So we've trained everybody to level 6. It's 8 days have passed since that time, and we're back on 9 AM on Tuesday, January the 1st. You can see that our poor Aoife is still poisoned, which gives the debuff to some stats. But now we have level 6 and some nice skill points to spend. Now I won't be spending them yet because I want to spend a bit time on that, and this episode is already very long, so I'll leave that for the next episode. But I'm gonna ready. What I just did was to cast ready, to set Water Walk as a ready spell, so you can cast it whenever you press the quick cast spell, which normally is, I believe, I don't remember what's normally, but in my keyboard bindings it's E. Right. So now the last part of the whole shtick is to visit the Shrine of Might, which is in Bootleg Bay. So it's a few days off. Oh no, wait. There's one more thing that we have to do that I forgot. Is to collect the horseshoes and buy some bows for our people. Let's collect the horseshoes first. We're building the horse, yes? Yenya collects horseshoes, yes, I remember correctly. So each stable yard contains 2 horseshoes, and they reset whenever the map resets. And the reset timer for each map is different. I think New Sorpigal resets every 2 years-ish. Some places respawn every half a year or a year. So there are 2 more horseshoes, but we're here to buy bows.
Looking for a weapon?
Since we saved a bit money on not learning skills, I'm gonna buy some bows. So elven bows are quite good. So 5d2 plus 2. Accurate crossbows are not as good, so I'm gonna buy 3 elven bows. And that doesn't matter who I buy them with because nobody has merchant skill yet.
Come again.
Alright, so 1 bow goes to you, 1 bow goes to you, and 1 to you. So now everybody can shoot arrows from far away, which is extremely useful. To complete my plan, I just need 600 gold, and we have 900. Great. Apart from the learning thing, we didn't miss anything much. So now, let me save. Now we have to find the Shrine of Might. As I said, it's pretty far away. I'll be collecting some herbs in the meantime. So we can jump through small, let's say, so normally you cannot walk on water. If you try to walk on water, you'll get damaged. But if the distance is quite small, trying to avoid some nasty damage, you can actually jump across, which is what we just did. And we're traveling east towards Bootleg Bay. Trying to avoid everybody. Quick save, Bootleg Bay. I want to go a bit more north. Yep. Okay. So there are some more enemies here. Just shot at us. But we want to travel here. Here's the Shrine of Might. So we need to cast Water Walk. As the description says, we have just 5 minutes of Water Walk. And we'll start taking damage as soon as the spell wears off. So I have to set 1 minute 46 seconds. Okay. Okay, so I just quick cast the spell. And you have to drink to recover some spell points. Okay. Let's try not to die, because we have to get to Shrine of Might. Fortunately, I'd have to click on everybody to get this bonus. And everybody got plus 10 might. Yes, finally. So, the gimmick is over. Now, if you're wondering what to do next, simple. Just ask our dear Naomi to cast down portal to Usurpigal. Hey, we're back. So, this is where we started, and I guess this is where we're gonna end. So, I'm gonna save it as episode 2. It's been a very long time talking to you, and I hope this has been entertaining to watch and listen me to explain some things and to observe the gimmick. This is not the gimmick I'll be using in my second playthrough, but right now we're set to make the game very easy, which is gonna be fun. Ha! I never done this before. So I'll see you in episode 3, where we will clear up this whole area of the goblin infestation. See you around then. Have fun.